Awesome. So we learned how to use variables to store values. We learned how to use variables to count. I would recommend you go over those two videos before doing this if you don't remember that really well, because this might get a little more complicated. Here we'll use variables for the computer to make decisions. We'll learn some new code, if and else. Okay. So let's say our hero in our story can speak to one of two characters before facing the villain, and the villain says different things depending on who the hero spoke to. Okay, so we can start by making the Twine game. I made a quick game here, so here we start. You can't fight the robot lord without help. Who will you ask to help you? You can ask the Science Princess or the Crystal Crone. If you ask the Science Princess, wearing bionic armor she built herself, hands you a thumb drive. This is a virus you can use against the Robot Lord, and then you can face the Robot Lord. If you go to the Crystal Crone is an old woman made entirely of shimmering rock. She breaks off a piece of her crystal hair and hands it to you. You'll know what to do when the time is right, she says enigmatically. And you can face the Robot Lord. And then if you face the Robot Lord is big, mean, and metallic. At last we meet. You will surely die, he says. And just to quickly test it, seems to work fine. I'll test it again this time with the Crystal Crone. Seems to work fine. Perfect. So now, in this passage, we want to add some extra text depending on which person you tried to get help from. So how do we do that? Well, we would need the game to remember who you got help from, so we'll need a variable. Let's call the variable Meet Princess. Meet Princess will tell you if you've met the princess or not. This time, the variable will not store a number, it won't store text, it'll store a value of true or false. If the player meets the princess, the variable is true. If the player does not meet the princess, so meets the crone, the variable is false. So let's make our new variable here. And since we won't be coming back to this passage, I can make my variable at the top. Remember, it's good to make your variables at a passage that you don't come back to, so that the variable doesn't reset each time. So I say set, I'm going to make the variable name Meet Princess 2, and I'm going to say false. Notice, this time I don't put quote marks around false, because false isn't the word false, it's the value. This variable, the value of it is false. Okay, it doesn't have the word false in it. Okay. So we've set Meet Princess to false. It's pretty simple from making any variable. Now let's make Meet Princess true if you meet the princess. So if you meet the princess, the Science Princess, then you set Meet Princess to true. And we can make it false for the Crystal Crone, but it's already false from the beginning. Set to false. And then if you go here next, it doesn't become true. So we're okay there. So yes, that's good. A quick note, this true or false type variable, this is called a Boolean. Boolean means true or false. So this variable holds Boolean. Okay. Now we need to say, when you fight the Robot Lord, if you've met the princess, something happened. So that's special. So here, now we learn a new keyword. I say if meet princess is true. Okay, so see, it's very similar to set. You have if colon meet princess is true. So this will check, did you meet the princess? Is meet princess true? Then something happens. The then part has to go between two single brackets, not double brackets, single brackets. And I'm going to say that silly virus the science princess gave you will not help you. Okay, and so if meet princess is true, he should say this. So let's try testing this. So I press play. Let's meet the science princess. Then just gives you the virus. If you face the robot lord, perfect. That text is coming. Let's see what happens if you go to the crystal crone. Play. Crystal crone. Okay, perfect. She gives you her crystal. And he doesn't say that, so we're on the right track. Now, I want you to pause. I want you to make a 4-part story like this. It has the same structure. And I want you to do a set for a variable. On one side it becomes true, on the other side it stays false. And in the end, if it's true, something happens. So go ahead and take a moment to do that. Don't worry, you can rewatch this video if you get stuck. Okay, now we want to add a sentence which happens the player visits the crone. The player visits the crone means meet princess is false. So it's very similar here. Instead of true, we can say false. If meet princess is false, which means they didn't meet the princess, the only other option here is meeting the crone. If there's a third option, then it might be better to make 2 variables. Meet princess, meet crone, and maybe meet monsters, like 3 variables, okay? But if it is false, then what will we say instead? We can say maybe that silly old woman's magic will not save you. Okay, so in this case, if meet princess is true, we should talk about the virus. If meet princess is false, we should talk about the old woman's magic. So let's try this. So I'm going to play. Let's see, our science princess. Okay, we got the virus. And okay, perfect. They talk about the virus. Okay, start from the beginning. Play. This will meet the crone. Perfect, she gives you her hair. The silly woman's magic will not save you. Awesome. So we know now how to make decisions. So I want you to, in a moment, pause and do this. Do another if statement for the other option and see what happens. Okay, so now we learned how to make decisions using variables. You can make more complicated games now.